women. We're just getting going. We've got 3 ministries that we're going to walk through in a row, and all 3 of these are phenomenal. And again, you're familiar with them in some way if you had the opportunity to hear them before. And then Beth Guggenberger is going to come and close our time today. It's the next hour is a good hour, and we're excited about this. Bill, come on up. This is Bill Bracken. You'll see on page 17, there's a response form, and then the 2-page information on his organization. You may be wondering, what do you do with all that information? We want to give you a snapshot of what their organization is, what opportunities there are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, a little bit of their finances, and their contact information. It's really good information. You may not be able to read it all now, but take it home with you, take the book with you, and read through that later. I shared this with Bill already a couple years ago when he presented. I was so moved and encouraged by his presentation that I wanted to learn more. And I went and spent a morning with Bill, and he kind of walked me through their vision and what they're doing, and I'm a fan. And so Bill's here. Not only I've asked him to share a little bit of how Barnabas has helped and encouraged you, but tell us, Bill, how we can continue to be in a relationship with you and Bracken's Kitchen. Welcome, Bill Bracken.
All right, I'm at a huge disadvantage here this morning, so I'm going to need a lot of grace and mercy. I'm coming up here with 3 strikes against me. First time I'm using technology for my notes, so God bless my efforts here. I have to use a microphone, so I'm not going to have to do how I'm going to do all this. And I got hit with a huge dose of imposter syndrome about 5 minutes ago with all these speakers. So I'm glad you guys are all faithful people and give us lots of grace and mercy. And my iPad's going to keep popping up to join some Wi-Fi here, so here we go. Last time I was here was spring of 2021. I don't know what you guys were doing in 2021, but I was knee-deep in a pandemic and trying to figure it all out. We talked at that time. I introduced you to Bracken's Kitchen, a little bit of my story. And the story of Bracken's Kitchen, we talked a lot about food waste in America back then. As you might imagine, a lot has changed in the last 18 months. Unfortunately, there's been a whole lot more issues of food waste and hunger, and it's just gotten worse, sadly. With that in mind, I thought I'd start with a short video to kind of update some of you on what we've been doing and introduce you and our work to those of you who weren't here last time. So we'll hit this video, and then I will share a little bit more. The heart of all the work that we do at Bracken's Kitchen can be found in our mission statement. It reads that through food rescue, culinary training, and our community feeding programs, we're committed to rescuing, repurposing, and restoring both food and lives. What that means in simple terms is we get to go to work every day in the kitchen doing what we love to do most, cook tasty, nutritious meals for our friends in need.
So Newport Meat is a food service distributor. We distribute proteins to hotels, restaurants, grocery stores, catering companies throughout Southern California. We've been involved with Bracken's Kitchen since the inception of Bracken's Kitchen, and something that we're very proud of. But we've been obviously helping our community for longer than that. We've been donating to food banks and other companies that help those that need it for well over 20 years. We donate almost anything that we have in our building. It could be chicken, beef, veal, pork, sausages, bacon. If it's a protein that we have, we've donated it. Obviously, proteins have a very short shelf life. We put it in our freezer and build up what we call a donation pallet to give it to companies such as Bracken's Kitchen. I think after this pandemic, it's become more apparent how important it is to be able to help those in need.
When I come into the morning is I clock in first, and I also check the task list to see what I have available. And what I do is once I get the task list ready, I find a cart, and it's usually if I make dressings, I gather all the ingredients first for each one, and I get to my workstation. I help prepare my area by getting the pan, the mixer, the cutting board, and I get prepared.
When I first met Ethan, he was a little bit shy, so he wasn't very vocal. Now he's able to talk to coworkers explain himself, and if he needs help, he asks for help. So he's come a long way as well. And he learns a lot by being mentored by the rest of the chefs or the workers. So he learns how to make a lot of the plates, and he is able to accomplish a lot of the plates on his own. Here at Brackens, he's learned how to focus, be independent on getting a lot of the ingredients. He's able to learn a lot of the steps, so now he's capable of doing it, as well as performing any task that they ask of him when it's on the list. He doesn't question it, he just says, I can do it now. Well, goodwill and partnership with Bracken's Kitchen actually makes them learn more of what they can do out there in the world and be independent on their own.
Miracles for Kids is a nonprofit organization, and we support families who have a critically ill child getting treatment at Chalk Hospital, CHLA, or UCLA Mattel's Children's Hospital. Our core program is a financial aid program where we help families pay bills on a monthly basis, and we also have supportive programs where we send care packages every month. We have a housing program and our wellness program.
I didn't learn of Janae's sickness until she was born. She's the miracle baby, and I actually named her Miracle for her middle name. She was basically born with TGA, transposition of the great arteries. She's had the total of 3 open heart surgeries. She's basically your average 2-year-old. I'm a stay-at-home mom, basically, just trying to focus on her health.
Bracken's Kitchen has been a very long-time partner with Miracles for Kids. They have helped provide nutritious meals to our families. Our housing program at Miracle Manor houses up to 12 families, and they are already dealing with a critically ill child. So something as simple as providing a healthy, nutritious meal for the family really goes a long way.
And it's really been very helpful. I don't feel good, I'm not in the mood to cook. So it's easy to just say, okay, well, I got the Bracken's Kitchen meal. I can just take some out, put it in the oven, and hey, I'm good.
It's really wonderful that we partner with Brackens to bring these nutritious meals to our families.
Bracken's Kitchen's coming out for our movie nights. I love the fact that we have people who really support us. Because a lot of times I hear it often, just go home, just relax, just breathe. And it's like, how can you relax when you got a sick child in the hospital?
Thank you, thank you. Many years ago, as we came out of the financial crisis of 2008, I remember sitting at my church one Sunday morning, Seabreeze Church in Huntington Beach. I remember Pastor Bevan talking, and he made the statement, something to the effect of, surely the hand of God, his protection and blessing was on this church. And I really wondered what that felt like. I was actually part of the finance team, so I could really appreciate what we've been through, but I couldn't quite fully relate to the statement of the hand of God on us. Oftentimes, I wonder what that would feel like. As we come up on our 10th anniversary, we as a business, and I personally have had many struggles over the years. We've had many prayers, needless to say, for the work of Bracken's Kitchen. I think one of my most persistent prayers is that God would hold us in his hand. And today I can certainly relate and confidently state that surely God's hand has been on our little kitchen. He has continued to provide what we need just when we need it. He's orchestrated in ways that he could only do the donation of both of our food trucks, our first building, protection during the pandemic, a lot of protection during the pandemic when we were just ramping up. He provided our second building recently, and he's given us the ability to not only provide for the less fortunate, but to bless our staff and families at the same time as well. Many of them struggling, and we hired them during the pandemic. He has continued to use us to reach people through food, to love and support them in ways I never could have imagined. He's helped us to be able to truly just pour into people's lives using food. Our staff, volunteers, supporters, and of course all the people that we feed. After more than 25 years in corporate America, I never thought I would be able to feel what we feel at Bracken's Kitchen, just to pour in and love people. We love them, we support them, and we just pour into each other every day. It's truly a blessing, and that's just our staff. When you look at the pictures of some of these smiling families that we feed every day, you can see the joy we bring into their lives through the power of food. It reminds me of what Jesus said in Matthew 25:40. The king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did to one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Equally, he has blessed us with so many amazing partners to help us reach those in need. With the support of churches like New Song Church, Church at the Southland, Calvary Chapel, and so many other organizations, we're able to reach the low-income population, homebound seniors, struggling college students, and so many more. Since we last met back in 2021, the spring, much has happened. We talk often about our trio of services, rescuing food, culinary training, and community feeding. And with the reimagining of our culinary training program, our trio is truly firing on all cylinders. We spent the last year during COVID completely reimagining culinary training and what it would look like. Just recently, we launched our first class of new students with this program, and it's exciting to see these students and their passion and commitment to the opportunity they've been given. Needless to say, we continue to feed as many people as possible, and that need is growing. As you know, our collective attention as people is very short, and we are often moved toward the greatest next issue that we're facing. And while so many have stepped up to help during the pandemic, the need in so many ways is greater now than it was before, thanks to inflation, food costs, supply chain issues, and so many other factors. And with our new warehouse, we now have the ability to do even more. And when you talk about Barnabas getting involved, after our last, I told you, technology here. After our last presentation, a Barnabas member stepped up in many ways. He helped negotiate the lease of this warehouse, and we just moved into it recently, a few months ago. I used to drive into work every morning into our beautiful building in the parking lot right beside us, this building that really was a ghetto. It was occupied by a whole bunch of different people. It was scary to drive into every day in Garden Grove. But this gentleman stepped up, he negotiated, and today that building is ours. We got a new added in walk-in refrigerator and freezer. We got a whole lot more space in there, and it brings to mind Jeremiah 29:11. I'm truly lost here, please forgive me. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I mean, I never would have imagined having this warehouse next door. This place was truly a ghetto. Our church, Seabreeze Church, came out 2 weeks in a row. They gutted what was an illegal marijuana plant in the back, and now we have food stored there, and we're able to feed and help even more and more people. I mean, clearly this was God and His plans for us, because I never would have imagined it. Over the last 2 years, we realized that our plans work both conceptually and operationally, because we really ramped up during COVID. Our goal in 2023 is to truly fine-tune and perfect all of our systems that we can share this model with the country. We've had people reach out to us for some time wanting to learn more about the work we do. Right now, I'm talking to a Christian group in South Carolina, trying to bring a model similar to ours to South Carolina. We've had a church in Dallas reach out to us, and you can see from the map there's been people all over the country that are reaching out, just trying to find out how they can do what we do in their communities. I'm too darn old, and I don't need to see a Brackens kitchen in every community in America, but we certainly believe there should be a model like ours everywhere, so that we can find a way to help them. And why, you ask? I think it's the most important thing, because every major metropolitan community in America has the three things in common that we address. There's poverty all across America. Generational poverty gives meaning to the idea of the cycle of poverty. There's hunger in America. In fact, hunger is probably greater than it ever has been for some time now. 3.5 million people in California are facing food insecurity and hunger every day right now. 1.1 million of them are children. In fact, hunger can be found in every single county in America. No matter where you go, if you drive through America, you'll find somebody that's struggling just to put a meal on the table. And of course, like I spoke last time, we have this issue of food waste. Up to 35% of our food supply is still ending up in our landfill. So as we work so hard to grow our model and help more people, God continues to use us to reach people for His kingdom. We truly are able to use the power of food just to connect with people, from those we serve and love, to our own volunteers, to just recently, one of our managers, after years of pouring into him, found his way to Christ and was recently baptized. So we really just love the way God is able to use us and the work that we do. As I wrap up here, I'd really love to tell you a couple more stories about the people we feed, because there are stories I could tell you all day long and how we touch them. But James 2, 4 through 17 is what I'll wrap up with. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about the physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. We all know, we've heard that faith without deeds is dead. So I'm saved a little bit of time here. I think Russ might want to ask a question, but as I wrap up, I just can't thank you enough, those Barnabas members who have reached out, having the opportunity to present here today, because we've had a lot of people step up and help us, and it's truly been a blessing.
Thank you, Bill. I'm going to ask you two questions. One, when I was in your office, I asked you what motivates you to do this. And you talked about Jesus. Talk about that.
I could go on all day, and I'm watching that clock tick. That is such a distraction, by the way, guys. How can you focus when you see that countdown? It's like you're going to explode. The last time I presented with Barnabas, I shared about Jesus. You read the New Testament. What did Jesus do all the time that got him in trouble with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and everybody? He dined with and hung out with the sinners and tax collectors. I really believe that Jesus understood the power of food and how to connect with people. And as I've looked at my career from 12 years old when I started cooking to today, it's the power of food that has always brought me back. So my motivation and passion comes naturally, but God has just done things for me that I never could have imagined. So how could I not now use my talent and skills to do back and give back to him?
You have some opportunities. That's a great. When you think about Jesus and food, that stuck with me. Opportunities for people. I know on your page you have some opportunities. You're right here in Garden Grove. What are a couple quick, simple things that people can do to support and encourage and connect Brackens?
Call Kat right back there. Earlier someone said something, maybe it's you, about just saying yes. Holly just said yes. I know her amazing daughter, by the way. Kat just said yes to volunteering so many years ago, and now she's our director of operations. So I joke, but I'm also serious about that at the same time. But we're a business like any other business. We call it ministry, we call it nonprofit, but we're a business, and we need everything any business needs, whether it's help with web design work, whether it's help with advertising and marketing. We want to spread this model around the country. We need help with the idea of franchising. We need some business minds to come alongside and help us and guide us. So, if you got a talent and skills, I promise you we can find a use for it. But not cooking.
Yeah, right with me. Father, thank you for Bill. Just an inspirational message, and something that we all see and experience in different ways. And Father, just thank you for the way you're using him and his team, the vision of Bracken's Kitchen. Just thank you. Thank you for Barnabas has been able to come alongside. And I thank you for the relationship that we have, the ongoing relationship. And I pray that you would nudge some people in this room to say, I want to go find out more of how I can help. And I want to fill out the form. I want to go and visit, or I want to help volunteer. I want to come and learn more. Father, just help us say yes to the opportunity that's right here. Thank you for Bill. Just pray you go before him in this busy season. Restore him, renew him, and use him, and bless him, Father. Thank you. Amen. Hey, just take a minute. Yeah. Page 17 of your book is a response form. Just take a moment and respond. I'm going to invite Jay up, and we're going to transition, but don't miss that response form for Bill, and he's got a table back there you can stop.